Rolling. Go.
No, you gotta do this.
Oh, sorry.
You don't even clap. All right. Wow. Okay. Welcome everyone. This is going to be our second guest that we have, and this is Adrian Hernandez. And you all are watching our vlog video podcast we got going on called Tienes Ganaz or Nah. Basically, we want to find out if people have the ganas, people that we see all our every day in our community that are on a health and wellness journey or just starting or have tons of experience, but we wanted to bring in and speak to people from our community directly. So Adrian is one of the people that we have been in contact with for years now. He's Carne's coach, I think, but he knows a lot of stuff, and we want to welcome you and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. If you could use maybe 3 words to describe you and what you do in our community.
3 words to describe me. Dedicated, honest, and integrous.
And what do you do? How do you know? Well, Carla is one of our co-founders through Ganaz Apparel. So how do you know her?
I started coaching Carla probably back in, I think, 2012, maybe before then.
Dang, that's a while ago.
It was a little while ago.
Yeah. So, you know, part of our brand that we have, Ganaz Apparel, it's a brand that we created to kind of mix culture with an active lifestyle. So tell us a little bit about your culture, where you're from, where your parents are from. And we know that, you know, in recent times, there's this thing of, through social media, of, you know, aesthetics or just like ways that blend but are not really blending in real life when it comes to health and wellness. So with your culture and your heritage, what are some things that people do that come from those, you know, that heritage that, you know, not necessarily means paying for a gym, but how do people maintain healthy in that culture?
A little bit about me. I grew up in a small farming community, Coolidge, Arizona, just south of the valley, and my family, they're all from Zacatecas, and so we just grew up working in the farms. When I was younger, before we were old enough to have real jobs, we would work in the fields over the summers. And so for us, being in shape was definitely more function versus form. So we really cared about, can you do the work versus, well, how good do I look chopping these weeds?
Right. Yeah, because you need it for sustainability and for living. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. So do you know how to farm?
I know a little bit.
Can you make your own garden?
I can.
Grow some corn?
I can grow some corn.
Dang! Okay, that's all we need. You're hired. We're going to hire you for our elote fundraiser that we have coming up. All organic corn. We're going to sell. Homegrown by Adrian. Our next question is, what is one thing that you do para la dieta? You know, in Spanish we have this phrase of like, you start, you know, trying to eat healthy or try to eat better, and people are like, oh, like you're on a diet, or you only, like you're not eating like meat anymore, or you only eat lettuce. So what do you do para la dieta, which not necessarily to be on a diet, but to maintain a healthy lifestyle when it comes to food?
Diet itself just really comes down to 3 things. It's what you eat, it's how much you eat, and it's when you eat. And that's really as simple as it gets. And there's, you know, 1,000 different diets out there. And I've kind of put together a combination of different things that works great for me, but it may not work the same for somebody else. One of the things that I really like doing is mixing a lot of the paleo diet with a lot of the omega diet, which puts some of the grains back in, but not all of them. And it keeps it simple. It allows for me to eat my tacos and not be guilty about it. But,
yeah.
You know, simple things like that. But yeah, and another thing too is your diet has to be, whatever diet you choose has to be sustainable. It has to be something that you enjoy. Like if you're miserable every day, like, oh my God, I'm eating chicken and broccoli again, you know, 6 times this week, you're honestly not going to last very long. It has to be something that you enjoy.
Yeah, I went through a phase where I was eating chicken, because I don't really eat meat, but I eat chicken. And so I was cooking my chicken all clean, and now I can barely eat chicken. Like, it's just not appealing to me no more. So it's like, so it definitely has to be, what is something I can eat now that is long term, right? Because it's not just for this like 1 month, but it's like, what's a lifestyle that I can have in a health and fitness? So you've been a coach for how many years?
I started personal training in 2006, and I've been a CrossFit coach since 2008.
So tell us if you have ever, that's over a decade, that's quite a while. I'm not judging how old you are, I'm just kidding. But, so what is one of the worst injuries that you've seen people have during your journey?
So some of the most severe injuries, some of them, actually almost every injury I've ever seen has been from neglect, from being complacent, but I've seen some pretty nasty stuff. I saw a guy who, doing his pull-ups, decided he didn't want to come all the way down. He was coming to here, and the problem is that put his bicep under too much tension. It tore and rolled underneath. 3 surgeries later, this guy still has half a bicep. It's not fully extended, simply from not coming all the way down.
Wow, that was
pretty bad. Yeah.
And then he was doing it, and then he just fell off.
Fell right off, yeah. We heard a pop, and he fell down, and that was it.
Dang. So what can people do to prevent something like that from happening?
A good warm-up will help prepare you for that. Another thing, too, is have somebody watch out for your form. If it's your workout partner or whatever, a coach, have them watch out for you. Especially if you're not sure about the movement, have somebody with you. Even still, like let's say you're working alone, film it. Film it, and a lot of people will think it's for vanity, but if you can sit there and play back your technique and say, oh my God, I'm not extending my arms, or I'm not going all the way down, or I'm not rising all the way up, that'll help you.
Yeah, I go to work out alone, and so sometimes I'll film myself, and then I'm like, people probably think I'm trying to be like, these videos or something. So a lot of times that helps, because I'm like, oh snaps, like I'm not going lower enough, or I'm not like keeping my elbows, close to me or something like that. So that's definitely a good tip to have. Yeah. People will look at you weird, but it's for your own good. It's for your own health and safety. Yeah. What is a secret? Do you have any secret healthy recipes? So, I like to eat my tacos too, but it's not like the best thing to have every day. So maybe, throughout time, you've had some like healthy recipes, but also like something that you can throw a little like spice in there,
My go-to is going to be chicken with zucchini, and the chicken I'll make a marinade for it with garlic, cilantro, and some onions and olive oil, and I'll let it sit overnight. And then the zucchini, I'll do olive oil, salt, pepper, and some cilantro over the top, and just grill it all together.
Dang, that sounds good. I started cooking, but I don't really cook. But I'm trying to cook now because I'm more of in a budget, right? So I'm like, oh, now I gotta learn how to cook. But I think those ingredients, the olive oil, the garlic, and zucchini are some of the ones that I found in recipes online. So I'm gonna try that. Marinate it overnight and then cook it the next day. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we have. I have my questions on my phone.
Awesome.
So I'm not checking my Instagram or nothing. Maybe I am. I'm just kidding. Let's see. So a lot of people, now are like, I'm afraid to start working out because I don't want to get injured, or I really don't have the time to go and work out because life and I'm really busy, or I really don't have, this gym membership that I can pay. I don't have the money for it. I can barely buy this healthy food. It's just like all these things going around us with our lives, right? So what are some tips that people can how they can get started or restart their health journey? Mm-hmm. That could be something simple that doesn't take away, it doesn't feel like really heavy.
I think the biggest thing for that is going to be changing the mindset. Instead of saying, I can't do this because of A, B, and C, is to change your priorities and say, you know what? it might take me an extra 30 minutes to go outside and go for a run. But in the long end, it's going to take even longer of my life if I get sick and end up going to the hospital or the doctor. So it's really about rearranging your priorities. And if your health and your fitness is a priority, everything will fall into place, you know. And people are afraid of the diet, you know. Oh my God, it's going to be so expensive for me to eat healthy. Well, that meal that I just told you about, it's about $3 if you go to Sprouts.
What?
So it's not that bad. It's just a matter of changing your priorities.
Yeah, and I know a lot of it is also how can we be good with ourselves now to be here in the long run, and that's part of it, right? If you can think about like what you're doing now and how that's gonna affect you in the future. Because a lot of times, like I know if I get sick, I'm like, oh, I should have like taken some vitamin C before, instead of like now I'm all sick and like all like not healthy.
Trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can we be, what's that word, proactive in our health?
The first thing you gotta do is just make that decision and commit to it, and just say, I'm gonna make a change in my life. And one of the biggest problems that I see in people is people will always tell me, I need. You know, they ask me questions about diet, and well, you know, think about this. Yeah, I need to start eating healthy. I need to start working out. I need to get up earlier. I need to quit smoking. But that doesn't mean anything, saying I need. The only thing that's doing is identifying the problem that you're having. So what I do is when somebody says to me, well, I need to do that, I need to start working out, I'll challenge them right away and say, you need to or you want to? And they'll just kind of look at me and they'll say, well, I want to.
Like,
That's
gotcha.
the difference right there.
Yeah.
Want to will lead to I will do it, which leads to I am doing it, which leads to I did it. And so changing just something as simple as changing your mindset right there. It's that, well, I need to do it, I need to do this. No, I want to do this, which means I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the biggest things is change that mindset right from the beginning.
So what are some tips that you have for people to keep being motivated? Sometimes, you know, it's like changing up the routine, or it's like, you know, instead of working out alone, you go and work out with a group. What are some things that, little like niches that people can do that make a total difference in the environment?
I think one of the most common mistakes is that people kind of assume that people who are like really, really fit and healthy are constantly motivated. And honestly, they're not. Because when you work out, 4 out of 5 days are not going to be gold star days. 1 out of those 5 days, you'll feel like a rock star. What keeps you going, it's not motivation, it's discipline. And so just understanding that I'm going to do this because this is who I am, this is who I want to be, and this is my goal. Whether or not, oh my God, I'm really tired and I just don't know if I can do this workout, but I'm going to do it because I have to achieve my goal. So the discipline will take place when the motivation fails you. And motivation will fail.
Yeah.
But discipline, you'll last a lot longer.
Do you have any particular story that you can share about maybe like a person throughout your 10 plus years of coaching that is someone that you've seen transformed, you know, from their mindset to actually doing and to now maintaining a lifestyle of health?
Oh yeah. Back in 2012, we had an athlete who came in, and she was, you know, if I'm going to be blunt, she wasn't very skilled. She wasn't very talented, but what she was driven. And any workout that involved running, nobody in the gym would beat her, guy or girl. You know, if we started getting technical with jump ropes and barbells and this and that, you know, she would fall further behind. And so because of that drive that she had, I took her and I put her on our CrossFit team and had her compete in the CrossFit Games in the Open. And the first year she did it, she finished in the bottom 2% in the world. So 98% of the females beat her. Kind of a lot of females. But she kept with it, she kept training. The next year she finished in the top 40% of the world. And so she really grew and developed and excelled. She changed her mindset of how she saw herself. Instead of being a girl who just liked to work out, she started seeing herself as an athlete. Now she does triathlons and Ironmans.
Dang.
Very competitively.
Yeah.
I think in her last one, I think she actually won her division.
Dang. See, and this is not something that came over time, right? It came I mean, it came over time. It didn't come right away.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time working with her, and it wasn't just me. It was a team of coaches that we decided that we were going to focus a little bit more attention on this one athlete because she had something that was really missing from the team, and so we wanted to really develop that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all the coaches who came together and did that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing and spending time. Before we leave, we have some bonus questions that we're gonna pick out of our very cool jars that we have. So you're gonna pick it. I keep doing this, but they don't move around. They just stay in the same place. But you're gonna pick it. I'll read it because I wrote them really fast and there's just like scribbles. But just pick one of the cards in there. All right. So our first question is, what is? Oh, I did this one last time. Okay, we'll do it again.
Okay.
What is a first world problem that you have?
Traffic.
Traffic, yes.
Traffic. Where I work is actually really far away from where I live. It's about a 45-minute drive, and you know, it's easy for me to get frustrated sitting in traffic, saying, "Oh my God, why are we doing this? Why are we stopped?" Meanwhile, I'm sitting in a car. I don't have to walk to work. You know, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you're sitting. You can have your air conditioning on. You have music or video, you know, playing or something like that. So. Yeah, I drive that far too, so sometimes I'll just be like, I'll wait it out, but then sometimes I don't want to wait it out, you know, but
yeah,
that's a good one. Okay, we'll do another one. I keep doing that, it doesn't move, they're stuck there. Alright, so let's see. If you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what are you going to eat?
Tacos.
Tacos? What kind of tacos?
Carne Asada, my favorite.
Dang. With like corn or flour?
Flour.
Flour?
Flour, yeah.
Dang, I don't know who eats that.
Those kind of break the rules about the health because then we're adding in the wheat and stuff like that, but love them.
Dang.
Last night I made them with corn.
Dang, so you make your own tacos? Do you make your own tortillas?
No, I don't.
That's why you gotta grow that corn. Oh no, because then, never mind. Anyways, grow some corn. We're gonna have elotes sometime when Adrian grows the elotes. We're gonna have some. But if people want to follow you on social media or online, what are some of your online platforms that you have?
Mainly, if you're looking for athletic advice, the best way to get a hold of me is on Instagram, and that's Hernandez Performance.
Cool. So we'll add that on the description as well. And also shout out to Core CrossFit who has us here and using this space today. And shout out to our camera crew over there and over there for catching this. So we'll see you next time with a new person on this couch. And thank you for watching and joining us.